Hey, no! What? Come on! Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Geometry Dash. And yet again, we're going to cover another 3 level submissions by you guys.
Welcome back, everyone, to another Geometry Dash episode. As you guys can see, my voice here isn't exactly the clearest or as best as it could be. For this, as I've mentioned before in a previous video, it's because I've had the wrong mic recording when I did this session. In fact, the mic I was actually trying to record from across the room, so what you hear now is actually quite lucky to be heard in the first place. That said, I've asked you guys what you wanted me to do with this episode, and a lot of you said to voice over it or add subtitles or something. I tried adding subtitles, but truth is, a lot of times I have no idea what I'm saying. I cannot hear myself. The audio is just too different. I really cannot make up what I'm trying to say. I'm here to give you a little voiceover, and bear with me, I have no idea what to say or how to make this work. Nevertheless, this isn't going to be a classic episode of this series, as you guys have known, but I did think that the levels featured in this level were worthy, and so I decided to cover it. Okay, so for the very first level submission that we have is called Odd by Jayuff.
Odd by Jayuff. Let's see what you got, Jayuff. Wait. Oh, Jayuff's delivering alright.
A lot of different factors contributed into making it an incredible level design. Of course, there was the design itself, which was very original. The animation, the transitions, the presets, everything seemed to be new and fresh. But what really captivated me was the gameplay. The gameplay, especially this part right here, that I didn't even understand how it's possible to do that through the code or through the builder. I don't even know where to begin to understand that.
I jumped, it didn't work.
So to me, this was a shock. And then transitions that came from here, such as this one over here, it was just, I don't know, this didn't feel like a typical Geometry Dash level, and for that I was very grateful because this was definitely a level that I really enjoyed. I do love the fact that this person played around with the decorations. As such, you see floating cubes, and then right here later on we become in one of them that includes obstacles. This part again with gameplay, I have no idea how they did. This is incredible. This was fun and challenging and original, and it just did not seem like a typical Geometry Dash level, and I really did enjoy all of this because again, this was captivating. This was, for me, this was fresh, this was new, this was something different.
What kind of sorcery is this? How did you do that? If I didn't know any better, I would say this is hacked, this is a mod, this is no way.
Yeah, this was a very good level that I got to enjoy. Another contributing thing that I really appreciated about this was the song. It was a very interesting song, one that had a build-up, had its own casualness, and of course, it had the drive to continue. It was an interesting song which had its ups and downs, and it knew how to captivate the user and how to keep you playing in the game. A lot of songs seem to be generic, a few of them are slow, some of them don't even match the designs of the level, some people just make them very random. This particular one fit the theme pretty well, and I don't know if this was just one person working on this or a team. I don't know if Jayuff one person or not. I know we've covered another level after this episode because this episode was recorded before the previous one, but nevertheless, so far Jayuff has definitely impressed me. They have impressed me with what they can do.
No, wait, there was a
What makes a level very special, of course, is engagement. This part right here, needless to say, I could not pass it for a while, and I kept on crashing and attempting again and again. The use of the octopus and the way the octopus is animated and it throws obstacles, all of this was just very well thought out and very original, because all of this it's scripted nevertheless, but I don't even know how to do that. Me, an old veteran builder, I don't know how to do that. I thought all of this was actually quite impressive.
Oh wait, oh no, what? No, no. The next point.
Music synchronization was also on point on this level. Now, honestly, I can't really picture anything to complain about this level because you could tell that the creator knew what they were doing. You can tell that they made this level enjoyable, and you've made this level new, and they definitely delivered on presentation. The presentation, the music, the design, the gameplay, the synchronization, the coding, the originality, the transitions, almost everything was just a 10 out of 10 for me. The fact that I beat it in just less than 100 attempts, by 3 attempts, got the coin. It almost felt like a great balance of what a typical Geometry Dash level should be. It should be beatable, of course. And it was challenging, and it was original, and it felt very good to me. Of course, these are my kind of favorite levels that I can beat. Needless to say, I'm not the very best at this game, and I don't think that 3-year break has actually helped out that much. In fact, it's almost like a culture shock. 3 years ago, I remember this game being different. I remember the community being different. I remember things being slower. I remember people were smaller in numbers. I remember designs are simplistic, and the gameplay was even simpler than the designs at all times.
This next one's called Don't Cry by FunnyGame. And you guys know how I feel about FunnyGame. I love FunnyGame. So
upon playing this level, I've come to realize something. This is the second level by FunnyGame in which he brings a very depressive tone with sad elements, whether it's through quotes or through wording or through design. And I've noticed he's a big fan of using black and white presets and black and white obstacles. I've seen that happen in the 2 other levels that we've covered in the series already. I honestly kind of did have a slight concern when I thought about this, because I really hope that his choice in making such levels is really not reflecting of how he's feeling. Because if he is in any way depressed or feeling bad, or what I'm saying is, if he is expressing his own emotions and feelings via Geometry Dash level designs, then I really do hope that he recovers and he finds himself. And because depression is it's a tough place to be at, and no one really can understand you, no one can really relate to you. I've been there. I know a lot of people who've been there, friends, girlfriends. It's a tough place to be. It's one of those things that you cannot understand unless you have it yourself, and trust me when I say this, you do not want this on yourself. It's quite difficult to handle.
this song is hitting me right in the feels. What's going on? It's always this part that I like. Right here. Oh, I passed it. I actually passed it. Now what? Music's nice.
I really hope that FunnyGame is not what this level, for example, speaks, whether he's alone, lonesome, or quiet, or sad, or depressed, or suicidal, or anything like that at all. I really hope this is just a themed level for the sake of a themed level. I really do hope that he's okay, and I hope people who play this level are okay and they're not influenced in a negative aspect in any way.
I hope this is just a themed level, nothing to do with his well-being.
The level itself was very well designed, very interesting. It's got some original presets here and there. The music synchronization is very nice. The song choice is decent. Not exactly a favorite of mine, but nevertheless, it is something that matches this level. And like I said, it definitely brings emotion, and it definitely is something that tends to be very melancholy. And I really hope that FunnyGame is actually doing quite well as whatever this level is trying to signify. It was a good level. It was another good addition from FunnyGame, because let's be honest, FunnyGame never ceases to deliver good stuff, and that's just his signature. He's always been one of my favorite creators. I have heard in the previous comments that apparently there's someone else going by his name, but they're creating different levels, so I do not know if this is the same person or if this is the real FunnyGame. At this point it's getting confusing, but nevertheless, just for having that FunnyGame title, I approve, I suppose. It's pretty good. Not a big fan of the depressive vibe, as I am a very more optimistic person. Depressive vibes, despite the fact that some people can relate to them, only brings you down more. Trust me on this. If you're down, listening to things that are down, they don't help. They just make you sink deeper and deeper into a rabbit hole, and you do not want to do that. You want to try to get away from that negative vibes, those negative energies, get away from negative songs, get away from negative people. You want to surround yourself with people who are positive. You want to surround yourself with people who are energetic, people who have possibly fought through depression and made it out, so you can see and be inspired by them on how to get out and do yourself. Because let's be honest, it's a trap.
I enjoyed it. Alright, so the next level. Hey, so far
This last level is called Twins, and as you will observe, I wasn't the very best at playing this level.
Biden? I don't. Okay, Dolphin Destiny Twins. Okay. Yes, we're okay with
I think what my problem was the fact that despite this level being very, very appealing to the eye, because it is very nice and original, you can tell the presets have been edited, everything looks so nice. It doesn't look necessarily generic. The transitions are nice, the animations are nice, the gameplay itself looks like it's been redesigned to be different than most Geometry Dash levels. However, my biggest concern of this level is that the overlays in the front, the actual gameplay elements, they blend in with the background of the level, and so it was very difficult to see where it was that I had to go, because I constantly couldn't tell between the background and what was in front of me. It all blended in together, and that might be my biggest concern, the biggest downfall of this level. In fact, I did not make it far at all. I barely made it a third into the level before reaching 100 attempts, as such you would probably notice that there's not a lot of gameplay footage of this level, but for what it is, I have to say it has very nice animations, got very nice backgrounds, very beautiful artistic visuals. I feel this level, from my experience, of course, I didn't have the best experience or the longest one, but I do feel that this level is more visually appealing than gameplay wise. But then again, it could be just me because I am not the best at these levels, and as I've demonstrated before, I tend to be very slow and new to the 2.0/2.1 level design. This was a great level. I had to complete it in practice mode. In fact, it took me a couple of dozen tries doing this, but nevertheless, I would say this is a very interesting level to play, and I do want to say that the visuals and the animation of the background are spot on.
That was just the intro. Wow!
There's so many beautiful sights. There's, for example, this lighthouse over here is incredible. The mountains before were nice. The cityscape before were also nice. I have no idea how people design such things in these levels. I don't know. I really don't. I used to think hackers or modders used to do this by copy pasting textures into the game somehow or something like that. I don't see how people could do this by Geometry Dash alone. I just feel like this is an entirely different vibe that I haven't even scratched the surface to.
There you have it.
Those are the 3 levels for this episode. I really do hope my narration sufficed, as I know my actual voice can barely be heard, and these levels probably did not contribute with how I spoke. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode for what it was.
Well, that is it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for submitting those levels. There's a lot more that you guys keep mentioning, and remember, with each episode that we continue on in the series, there are more and more suggestions by you guys in every single video's comment section. So if I haven't gotten to your comment yet, please be patient with me. I'm looking at both comments from the Discord server as well as the YouTube comments, and there's a lot. There's actually a lot that I have to cover, and like I said, I have to randomly choose 3 and just kind of go with it. And yeah, so bear with me, and don't let that stop you from commenting yourself a suggestion below, because eventually we will get to it, and I would like to see what you guys have in store for me. So I think, and I'm sure anyone who's watching this would like to see what kind of levels are out there as well. And for those who, like myself, have not played this game, I don't know, for 2-3 years, I'm sure for them watching these new level designs will be refreshing. Even if they're not playing the game themselves, it is interesting to see what kind of designs are out there, what people are making. So yeah, without further ado, guys, thank you very much. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like. Please comment down below what you think of this video. Do suggest your own level designs, level submissions, and let me know what you guys think. If you haven't already subscribed, subscribe and join the community. And if you have subscribed, hit that bell icon to be notified for more. I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. This is Jayuff signing off.